Russia versus NATO military power comparison. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, more commonly known as NATO, is a coalition of 30 countries that was established to offer collective protection for the territories of member states located in Europe and North America, as well as islands situated in the North Atlantic Ocean that are located north of the Tropic of Cancer and French Algeria. Which army is more powerful, that of Russia or NATO? Curious to know more? Now let's get deeper into this. Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel. Remember to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to ensure you get all the updates. Let's start the video. In what ways is NATO superior to Russia? When NATO bases developed in Sweden and Finland, Moscow threatened to deploy tactical nuclear weapons. While Russia has previously threatened to use the weapons upon joining the organization, this statement, released the day after the two countries announced their bids separately, indicated a change from those warnings. And it will raise doubts about the country's ability to handle international crises, especially in light of the situation in Ukraine. As a result of Russia's annexation of Crimea from Ukraine in March 2014, tensions between NATO and Russia have worsened in recent years. However, due to the recent mass deployment of more than 100,000 troops and tanks along the vast Ukraine-Russia border in late 2021, tensions between these two forces have again come to the forefront. The certainty of Russia invading Ukraine was finally realized on February 24, 2022. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, is primarily composed of 27 European countries, 2 North American countries, the United States and Canada, and 1 Eurasian country, Turkey. Let's look at the differences in military power, funding, and resources between Russia and NATO in these areas. It is essential to remember that this comparison has only been made on paper because it is mathematically impossible for all of the forces on both sides to engage in head-on combat until there is a full-scale war. Naturally, if a conflict of this magnitude materializes, the kind of warfare that will most likely be employed will not be conventional warfare but nuclear warfare. What about the active military strengths of NATO and Russia? Compared to Russia's 1 million-strong active military force, which is already quite impressive for a single nation, the dynamic army force of NATO as a whole has a colossal size of 3.2 million soldiers. NATO is a member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. It is also important to note that the United States military, which has close to 1.4 million men and women serving in the armed services, is responsible for 42% of NATO's active forces. What are the complete military strengths? This is the point at which Russia begins to narrow the gap. The combined armed forces of the NATO alliance number 6.1 million soldiers, more than twice as much as Russia's 3.5 million armed forces personnel. The overall reserve force of NATO members is 2.1 million soldiers, and their paramilitary force numbers 765,000. Russia comes close to matching the number with a reserve force of over 2 million and paramilitary forces of 554,000. What is defense spending? The United States accounts for around 70% of the total military expenditures by NATO states, totaling a staggering $1 trillion. Defense spending in the United States accounts for over $700 billion, or 3.4% of the country's total GDP of $21 trillion. The total amount spent on defense by the United States alone is more significant than that paid on security by the following 10 highest spending countries combined. On the other hand, Russia invests over 3.9% of its GDP, which comes out to a total of $1.48 trillion, into its military every year, spending approximately $65 billion to do so. What about the battle tanks of Russia and NATO? In this region, Russia's land strategy is at its absolute peak. The combined tank forces of the 30 states that make up NATO total 16,077 vehicles, which is a quantity that is dwarfed by the enormous Russian tank fleet that numbers 22,710 vehicles. The employment of anti-tank missiles, drones, and aerial assault are just some of the many ways that tanks may be destroyed in today's world. Therefore, it should go without saying that tank numbers do not determine who wins a fight or a war. Air offense/defense of the Russia and NATO. The total number of aircraft in NATO's fleet is 16,737, of which 84% belong to the United States. This is 3.6 times greater than the number of aircraft in Russia's fleet, which is 4,650. However, if the United States were absent, Russia would have a significant advantage, as it would have 7 times as many aircraft as the combined total of 2,677 aircraft that NATO would have. Naval forces of Russia and NATO. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, possesses a combined fleet of 545 major war vessels, including aircraft carriers, cruisers, corvettes, frigates, destroyers, and submarines. This is in comparison to Russia's enormous fleet of 220 major war vessels. Compared to Russia's fleet of 59 nuclear submarines, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, possesses 148 submarines, of which 91 are nuclear-powered. Nuclear warfare even of Russia and NATO. The United States, the United Kingdom, and France contribute most of the 6,650 nuclear warheads that comprise NATO's combined atomic stockpile. This is balanced out by Russia's stockpile of 6,500 warheads, which means that in the case of a full-scale conflict between NATO and Russia, we can be confident that there will be mutually assured destruction. This is it, everyone. So, what do you think? Leave a comment and let us know. Thank you for watching the video. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you still need to. Also, put on the notifications because the following video is going to be a great one.